Good morning students, welcome back to our online sessions of Science Class 10 in the syllabus of NCERT. I hope you and your family will be safe in the pandemic situation, so without any special work, don't go outside your home. Unnecessary, avoid to go outside your homes. So stay home and stay safe. And if any necessary and if you want to go outside of homes, then use the mask, sanitizers, always wash your hands with the specific forms in a regular interval and avoid as much as crowdable situations. So I hope you and your family will be safe and accept you will be fine. We are discussing today about environment, the chapter which in a part 1 we already discussing about the environment, what is called environment, what is called ecosystem, how the waste material that can be generally spoil the formation in which solid waste and liquid waste, how the food chain that can be formed. These are the general topics that we're discussing in your previous classes, like what is called environment, how the waste that can be implemented into the environment as a part of solid liquid waste gate, what is ecosystem, what is food chain. These are the topics which we have already studied in our part 1 when we started this topic of our environment. Now onwards today, we're discussing about the 4 main topics, that is about explain the types of food chains, in which grazing food chain and the detritus food chain. Another is to explain the component of ecosystem, which is biotic, abiotic, biotic having 2 consumer producers, abiotic also having 2 climate and artifact factors, as well as the biological magnification of global problems. These are the topics which are very important for the examination perspective forms. So let me discussing about this topic in a details today. First we are discussing about what is food chain. Generally, in the previous class we already discussed about each and every living organisms. They have to be dependent for the requirement of food as well as the nutrition from some other organism, in which I am discussing about the grass, sulfur, which is fed by the rat that should be fed by the kite and hawks. So each and every organism as a perspective of the different levels, like level 1, level 2, level 3, each and every form of level, they are generally interlinked to each other, that generally creating a medium of food of chain. So these are the entire formation of food chain that we are discussing in our previous class. So there are generally 2 types of the food chain. One is called as a grazing food chain, another is called as a detritus food chain. So first we are discussing about the grazing food chains is what, then detritus, and then we are discussing in details about the food chain. Now grazing means what? The grazing food chain generally starts with the producers which generally produce their own food, like the chlorophylous plants. The plant who having the chlorophyll, they generally generate the parts of the autotrophic nutrition. So the grazing food chain that generally start with the producers having the chlorophylls and extended through the herbivores, carnivores, omnivores as well as the decomposers. So grazing food chain always be started with the producers having the pigment of the chlorophyll, and that can be generally expanded through the forms of herbivores, carnivores, omnivores up to the decomposers. That is generally part of the grazing food chain. Second is called as a detritus food chain. Detritus food chain is quite different from the grazing food chain. Detritus food chain generally begin with the decomposers. Detritus food chain generally start or begins with the decomposers which live and on the dead organisms of the modules. जो dead organisms होते हैं, dead modules होते हैं, वहाँ पे इस तरह के जो decomposers होते हैं वो होते हैं. This type of the organic material that can be passes through the detritus feeding organisms into the detritus forms. तो decomposition start होता है soil के through, बाकी सारे organisms के अंदर वो move out होते हैं. तो ये 2 तरीके के food chains होते हैं. One is called grazing food, second is called as a detritus food system. Now, a food chain is generally described कि how the energy and nutrient that can be passes from one level of ecosystem to another form. एक इकोसिस्टम से दूसरे इकोसिस्टम के अंदर जो एनर्जी है, जो न्यूट्रिशन है, वो कैसे ट्रांसफ़र होता है, कैसे वो इसका यूज़ करते हैं, दैट जनरली शोज बाय द फूड चेन. तो फूड चेन जनरली शोज दैट और जनरली गिव द इम्प्लीमेंटेशंस अबाउट हाउ द एनर्जी एंड न्यूट्रिशन दैट कैन बी मूव थ्रू वन इकोसिस्टम टू अनदर इकोसिस्टम. एक से एक के ज़्यादा के अंदर कैसे मूव होता है. तो इसमें इकोसिस्टम 2 तरीके के फंक्शंस परफॉर्म करते हैं. सो दिस टाइप ऑफ फॉर्मेशन ऑफ इकोसिस्टम एंड द मूविंग ऑफ फूड हैविंग 2 मेन फ्लो. वन इज कॉल्ड यूनिडायरेक्शनल फ्लो और दूसरा जो होता है उसको साइक्लिक फ्लो कहते हैं. वन इज कॉल्ड यूनिडायरेक्शनल और दूसरा होता है उसको साइक्लिक फ्लो कहते हैं. जो नाइट्रोजन साइकिल, कार्बन साइकिल, ऑक्सीजन साइकिल्स के फॉर्म में साइक्लिक फ्लो आप पढ़ चुके हैं. सो autotrophic nutritions are generally a part of the producers as a first trophic level of the produced energy. So producer is generally a first level in a trophic level. जो trophic level होता है, अलग अलग levels के अंदर हम divide करते हैं organisms को, तो उसमें producer are the first organisms in the trophic level who produce their own food. तो ये जो energy होता है, the energy which is produced by the producers with the help of chlorophyll, this energy generally moves from the higher order of organisms like herbivores. पहले producers के बाद वो कहाँ जाता है, herbivores के अंदर जाता है. Then carnivores eat that type of food substances, energy that can be transferred to one to another. तो ये producer के बाद herbivores के बाद carnivores, ऐसे अलग अलग तरीके के जो labels होते हैं, इसमें जो food होता है move होता है. So only the green plants are the source of the producers. जो एक producers होते हैं which generally produce their own food with the catching of the sunlight as well as carbon dioxide, water from the atmosphere and convert that light energy into the chemical energy. So only the green plants are the main trophic level which is generally producer who produce their own food, and that energy which generally produced by this type of producers having use for the all the activities by the living organisms. जो सारी activities होती है वो सारी activities को perform करता है, and this energy is generally that can be transferred to one level to another level. तो यूनिडायरेक्शनल होता है. एक बार एक फॉर्म से दूसरे फॉर्म में कन्वर्ट होने के बाद इट कैन नॉट बी रिवर्ट बैक. फॉर एग्जांपल कि सन के अंदर से जो लाइट एनर्जी कन्वर्ट हो रहा है प्लांट्स के अंदर जो केमिकल एनर्जी में कन्वर्ट कर रहा है, तो क्या फिर से केमिकल एनर्जी लाइट एनर्जी में कन्वर्ट हो सकती है? नो. सो इट इज़ कॉल्ड यूनिडायरेक्शनल. एक बार एक फॉर्म से दूसरे फॉर्म में कन्वर्ट होने के बाद यू कैन नॉट बी रिवर्ट बैक दैट एनर्जी. सो ये जो प्रोड्यूसर्स उसको प्रोड्यूस करते हैं एनर्जी को, द एनर्जी that generally used by the green plants cannot be reverted back to the sun as a form of light. So it is always be unidirectional forms, and this energy that can be passes to the herbivores then carnivores, then this to decomposers. So energy that can be moving from one level to another level, it cannot be obtained in a previous level through the various trophic levels. तो जो previous level होता है उसको ज़्यादा देर तक यूज़ नहीं कर सकते हैं. So energy cannot be available to the previous level of organism in a very long time, because energy generally have been transferred to one form to another form. So that is about the food chain. Okay, clear food chain. Now second important topic, that is about the components of ecosystem. Now ecosystem is what generally we discussing in the previous class of ecosystem, all the living organisms including animals, plants and the physical surrounding near of you will interact to each other creating the ecosystem. Okay, उसको ecosystem कहते हैं. Ecosystem having a two main components. One is called biotic component, another is called abiotic component. Biotic component also having a two main forms which is called consumers and producers. Producer and consumer, these are the two main forms. And abiotic component also having a two main factors, that is called climate factor and artifact factor. This is generally a part of the ecosystem as a form of component. Now first we are discussing about the biotic component is what. What do you mean by the biotic component into a part of ecosystem? So all the living organisms that generally can be divided into the main two types, या तो वो producers है या तो वो consumers है, consumers या producers. So all the living organisms they have been divided into the two main groups which is called producers और दूसरे होते हैं consumers. First we are discussing about the producers. Producer हम किसको कहते हैं उसके बारे में समझते हैं. Now producers are the organisms, they are generally autotrophic. They do not have to depend on some other organism for their food. They have their own methods to introduce as a part of food and nutrition. They generally obtain their nutrition without helping some other organisms. So generally producers are autotrophic nutritions. They possess the chlorophyll, and by using the chlorophyll, they using by the preparations of their chlorophyll, they generally implement their own food as well as they can also serve the food for some other organisms. ठीक है, तो वो आते हैं प्रोड्यूसर्स के अंदर. तो दो तरीके के प्रोड्यूसर्स हैं इसमें. टेरेस्ट्रियल के अंदर अगर देखते हैं, टेरेस्ट्रियल के अंदर ग्रीन प्लांट्स इज़ वन ऑफ द पार्ट ऑफ द प्रोड्यूसर्स. एंड इकोसिस्टम अगर आप देखिए तो एक्वाटिक्स के अंदर तो एल्गी इज़ अ पार्ट ऑफ द एक्वाटिक फॉर्मेशन. तो एल्गी इज एक्ट एज अ प्रोड्यूसर इन द फॉर्म ऑफ एक्वाटिक्स, जबकि टेरेस्ट्रियल के अंदर जो ग्रीन प्लांट्स होते हैं विच एक्ट्स एज अ पार्ट ऑफ द प्रोड्यूसर्स. So producers are the organisms who are generally autotrophic, who they cannot be dependent on some other organism for their food. They have a chlorophyll, by using the chlorophyll they produce their own food as well as for their self and some other organisms. तो ये होता है प्रोड्यूसर्स के बारे में. दूसरे होते हैं कंज्यूमर्स. Consumers, this type of the organisms cannot be obtain their food by their methods. They generally depend on some other organisms. So if the consumers they want to obtain the food, they generally have to depend on for the some other organism for their food requirement. So they are generally a heterotrophic nutrition. Consumers that can be divided into the four main parts. Consumers को भी अब चार अलग अलग parts में divide कर सकते हो. First consumers जो होता है इसको हम herbivores कहते हैं. सेकंड जो होता है उसको कार्निवर्स कहते हैं. थर्ड जो होता है उसको ऑमनिवर्स कहते हैं. फोर्थ होता है उसको डिकम्पोजर्स कहते हैं. कंज्यूमर्स में भी चार पार्ट्स होते हैं, herbivores, carnivores, omnivores and the decomposer. These are the main four part of the consumers. First we discussing about the herbivores. Herbivores generally called as a first order of the consumers. Consumer के अंदर भी first order of consumers that is called herbivores. एक मार्क्स का क्वेश्चन आता है 1 मार्क्स में कि who are the first order consumers that is called herbivores. So herbivores generally utilize the green plants and obtain their nutrition. Herbivores are those kind of the organisms who generally use the green plants as a part of their food and obtain the nutrition. After the herbivores, second is called carnivores. Carnivores is called as a secondary level of the consumers. Second level of consumers जिसको हम carnivores कहते हैं. Generally they predict the herbivores and obtain they use as a predator of herbivores and other carnivorous animals for their food. ये क्या करते हैं कि जो प्रिडिक्ट होते हैं herbivores करते हैं, जो carnivores में भी दूसरे animals होते हैं उसको अपना food requirement के लिए यूज़ करते हैं. Carnivores they can be consumes the herbivores and the secondary order of consumers. इसका यूज़ अपने न्यूट्रिशन के लिए करते हैं. So carnivores they use the other formations, तो इसको आप थर्ड हायर ऑर्डर ऑफ कंज्यूमर्स कह सकते हैं. जो कार्निवर्स का भी यूज़ करते हैं एज अ पार्ट ऑफ फूड तो उसको आप थर्ड ऑर्डर ऑफ कंज्यूमर्स भी कह सकते हैं. तो दो हो गए, पहला हेर्बिवर्स हो गया और दूसरा आपका कार्निवर्स हो गया. थर्ड इज कॉल्ड ओमनिवर्स. ओमनिवर्स यूटिलाइज द प्लांट्स एज वेल एज द एनिमल्स. ऐसे जो ऑर्गेनिजम्स होते हैं जो प्लांट्स और एनिमल्स दोनों का फूड में यूज़ करते हैं उसको हम ओमनिवर्स कहते हैं. और लास्ट में होता है डिकम्पोजर्स. Generally decomposers are the organisms who generally fulfill their nutrition and the requirement by the dead body of the plants and as well as the animals from the cell body, and they convert that kind of the complex organic modules into the simpler substances by using the decomposition method. Organic compound को smaller compound के अंदर convert करना. So that is generally a part of the biotic components into the ecosystem. Now we are discussing about the abiotic. अबायोटिक के अंदर भी दो मेन टाइप्स होते हैं. एक को हम कहते हैं क्लाइमेट फैक्टर और दूसरे को हम कहते हैं एडिफेक्ट फैक्टर. ऑल्सो इट इज़ कॉल्ड क्लाइमेट फैक्टर और एडिफेक्ट फैक्टर. दोनों में क्या डिफरेंस होता है? सो पहले तो अबायोटिक क्या है? सो अबायोटिक यानी कि नॉन लिविंग ऑर्गेनिजम्स और बायोटिक यानी कि लिविंग ऑर्गेनिजम्स. सो अभी हम अबायोटिक के बारे में डिस्कशन करेंगे कि ऑल द नॉन लिविंग कंस्टिट्यूशंस ऑफ एन इकोसिस्टम दैट इंक्लूडेड आर जनरली अबायोटिक कंपोनेंट्स. उसमें अबायोटिक कंपोनेंट्स को इंक्लूड करता है जिसमें हम देखते हैं कि दो तरीके के कॉमन फैक्टर्स आते हैं, एक क्लाइमेट फैक्टर और एक एडिफेक्ट फैक्टर्स. दो तरीके के नॉन लिविंग फैक्टर्स डिपेंडेंट करते हैं. फर्स्ट हम डिस्कशन करेंगे क्लाइमेट फैक्टर के बारे में कि व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय द क्लाइमेट फैक्टर. जनरली क्लाइमेट फैक्टर इंक्लूड्स अ टेम्परेचर, वाटर, लाइट, winds, pH values, mineral elements, as well as their topography and the habitat. These are generally a parts of the climate factor which generally responsible for the abiotics component as a form of ecosystem. Second is called as the edifact factor. Edifact factor is what? It is generally dependent on the soil structure and its composition. Which type of soil is there? What is its composition? How type of pH value is there? So this type of the formation factor to the any ecosystem that is called as the edifact factor. So these are generally parts of an ecosystem जिसमें दो तरीके के इकोसिस्टम्स के कंपोनेंट होते हैं, बायोटिक और दूसरा अबायोटिक. बायोटिक कंपोनेंट के बारे में अगर हम डिस्कशन करते हैं तो बायोटिक्स के अंदर दो मेन फॉर्मेशंस बनते हैं, प्रोड्यूसर्स और दूसरा कंज्यूमर्स. कंज्यूमर्स ऑल्सो हैविंग डिवाइडेड इनटू द फोर मेन फैक्टर्स इन विच herbivores, carnivores, omnivores and decomposers, while abiotic components having divided into the two main forms in which edifact factors and climate factor. Clear? So these are the two topics that we covered about the explain the types of the food chain and explain the components of ecosystem. Now the last two questions about that is called biological magnification. Now it is also asked in a 2 marks question, what do you mean by the biological magnification? Biological magnification means what? Generally, when we use as a cultivation of crops in a field, so main aim that should be implement more and more crops as a part of the higher production of fields. We generally implement higher production of the crops, and for that we use the uncontrolled, due to the uncontrolled use of the pesticides and the other chemicals at the order of protect the crops, because if you want to improve or maybe produce the higher amount of crops, it should be protected by the insects or some other formation of the factors. So for using that to protect our crops, we generally use the insecticides and pesticides. So due to that uncontrolled use of this type of chemical substances, like to protect your crops from the disease or the pest, so the amount of these chemical substances increases into the soil and water bodies. If you use more and more amount of this type of the chemical substances to protect your crops by the insect and pest, this type of chemical substances increase into the form of soil as well as into the crops. उसकी जो implementally है वो धीरे धीरे chemical substances increase होते हैं. So from soil and water, they generally enter into the body of the plants. This type of the chemical substances of insecticide and pesticides, which is available into the soil and water, it slightly enter into the body of plant. Plant के body के अंदर वो enter होने लगेंगे, and that plant body that is used by the herbivores and the carnivores as a part of their energy requirement. So this type of the nutrition which is available into the plant, which generally carried by as a food chain into the herbivores and carnivores. So as these chemicals are not being degradable, this type of chemical substances which is available into the plant body, it not be degradable or not be decomposed at the accumulated progressively to one level to another level. So that chemical substances which is available into that form, it can be accumulated to one level to another level into the other organisms. So this type of the effect is called as a biological magnification. Clear? What do you mean by the biological magnification? So generally, the trophic interrelationship between one ecosystem, one food level or food web to another food web, with one food chain generally dependent on the other food chain. So that interlinked of the trophic level to one animals that cannot be explained by the simple food chain. We generally cannot be explained by a single food chain describe only unidirectional to the each and every organism. So among the various ecosystems, they having a definite food chain system, and the definite food system individually linked to one ecosystem to another ecosystem. एक इकोसिस्टम को दूसरे इकोसिस्टम्स के अंदर इन्वॉल्व करते हैं. सो एज द फॉर्म एनिमल्स आर इंटरडिपेंडेंट फॉर देयर फूड एंड विच इज टर्म टू द फूड वेब. एक फूड चेन सिस्टम दूसरे फूड चेन सिस्टम के साथ इंटरलिंक्टेड होता है इन वन इकोसिस्टम टू अनदर इकोसिस्टम. सो दिस टाइप ऑफ इकोसिस्टम इज जनरली फॉर्म्ड एज अ फूड वेब. तो क्लियर कि बायोलॉजिकल मैग्निफिकेशन क्या होता है. द लास्ट टॉपिक फॉर दिस चैप्टर इज कॉल्ड ग्लोबल प्रॉब्लम्स. व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय द ग्लोबल प्रॉब्लम्स? Now global problems are just not the problems that affect only individual persons. It generally affect the entire earth or whole planet generally. So global problems are just one kind of the problems which generally not affect to a single person, but it affects the entire form of planet or the earth, all the organisms who are living onto that particular form of planet. So each and every organisms generally that are affected by this kind of the problems, so it is generally called as a global problems. Like climate change. Climate change is recently we can see that climate change is the one of the biggest issue in which all these countries are having faces the problems. Climate, कभी ठंड होती है, कभी बारिश होती है. This all the effects into the human beings and the disease which can be implemented in the bodies of all the organisms, which generally one of the effect of the climate. So the climate change is one of the best example. It generally human generated. The climate is not being automatically changed by the process of humans, which are the activities that is done by the humans for their making their life better and sustainable. They generally change into the formation of trophic level, so it's generally cause the climate effect. So climate effect is generally a human generated part of. So which are the global problems that we face into the recent times? ऐसे कौन-कौन से global problems है जो हम face करते हैं? ना ग्लोबल प्रॉब्लम्स के अंदर हम देखते हैं सबसे पहला तो ओजोन लेयर का डिप्लेशन. ओजोन लेयर इज वन ऑफ द पार्ट ऑफ द डिप्लेशंस. फिशरीज है, डिफॉरेस्टेशन है, वाटर पॉल्यूशन डिप्लेशन है, वाटर डेफिसिटी है. ऐसे बहुत तरह के जो प्रोसेस होते हैं वो जनरली हम ग्लोबल प्रॉब्लम्स में फेस करते हैं. तो ये ग्लोबल प्रॉब्लम्स के बारे में आता है. सो इसमें एक टॉपिक मैंने आपको समझा कि देर इज वन ऑफ द ग्लोबल problems is called as a depletion of ozone layer. So what do you mean by ozone layer and a depletion? It is one question that should be left that I will write here. What do you mean by the ozone layer and its depletion? Then I will write here ozone, about ozone. Ozone, ठीक है? The topic we are discussing about the ozone layer and depletion. What do you mean by the ozone layer and depletions of the formations? So first of all, the atmosphere of earth, if you seen around of us, the earth having a different type of the forms of atmosphere in which different type of gases which is available into the certain distance. So earth is generally a layered with the atmosphere. अलग अलग atmosphere का layer जो होता है earth के surfaces के आसपास देखने को मिलता है. So the nearest atmosphere around the earth it is called troposphere. earth के सबसे नज़दीक में जो layer है atmosphere का उसको हम ट्रोपोस्फियर कहते हैं. एंड जनरली दैट इज जनरली स्पेंड आउट ऑफ द 16 किलोमीटर फ्रॉम द सी लेवल. सी लेवल से 16 किलोमीटर का जो डिस्टेंस होता है वो ट्रोपोस्फियर में कंसिडर होता है. व्हेन वी मूविंग अहेड, जैसे हाइट 50 किलोमीटर्स पे जाते हैं वहाँ पे एक स्ट्रेटोस्फियर होता है. ट्रोपोस्फियर के बाद दूसरा आता है जिसको स्ट्रेटोस्फियर कहते हैं. और ओजोन लेयर कौन से में फॉर्मेशन करता है? स्ट्रेटोस्फियर के अंदर. तो अप टू सी लेवल टू 50 किलोमीटर डिस्टेंस देयर इज अ स्पेसिफिक लेयर, इट इज कॉल्ड स्ट्रेटोस्फियर, जहाँ पे ओजोन लेयर अवेलेबल है. ओजोन लेयर विच इज अवेलेबल इनटू द स्ट्रेटोस्फियर. नाउ मेन वर्क ऑफ ओजोन लेयर, it generally absorbs the ultraviolet rays, which is coming out from the directly to the sun, which can be absorbed by this ozone layer, and that prevent this kind of harmful effect of the light directly enter into the form of atmosphere of the earth. So how the ozone molecule that can be formed? So ozone का molecular formula होता है O3. ऑक्सीजन के 3 molecules जब जुड़ते हैं, 3 moles of oxygen when they can be combined would create O3, and O3 is generally considered as the ozone. So ozone is formed when the oxygen molecules absorbs the ultraviolet light rays. एटमोसफियर के अंदर जो ऑक्सीजन अवेलेबल है वो ऑक्सीजन के मॉलिक्यूल्स क्या करेंगे, इस तरह के जो अल्ट्रावायलेट रेज जो डायरेक्टली सन के अंदर से निकल रहा है उसको एब्जॉर्ब करेंगे. एंड व्हेन एब्जॉर्ब्स दैट अल्ट्रावायलेट रिएक्शंस दैट गोज टू द अंडर फॉर्म ऑफ रिएक्शन, और ये जो मॉलिक्यूल्स होता है स्पेसिफिक एटम्स के अंदर वो डिफ्रैक्ट होते हैं, उसका डिकम्पोजिशन हो जाता है. O2 molecules, when we provide the ultraviolet rays, when we absorb the chemical produced that can be formation of the light particles, that O2 have been decomposed into the O plus O single atom of oxygen. Now that single, that is generally part of the photo deassociation, that is called photo deassociation. ऑक्सीजन के मॉलिक्यूल्स का ऑक्सीजन प्लस ऑक्सीजन एटम्स में बनने की जो प्रोसेस होती है उसको फोटो डीएसोसिएशन फॉर्म कहते हैं, जहाँ पे ऑक्सीजन का मॉलिक्यूल्स वहाँ से रिमूव होता है. तो दैट फ्री ऑक्सीजन ऑफ द एटम्स विच जनरली कंबाइन विद द मॉलिक्यूल ऑफ ऑक्सीजन, क्योंकि एटमॉस्फेयर में तो बहुत सारे ऑक्सीजन हैं, तो O2 प्लस O दैट जनरली इम्प्लीमेंट अ न्यू मॉलिक्यूल्स ऑफ ओजोन दैट इज कॉल्ड O3. तो ऐसे ओजोन का मॉलिक्यूल जो होता है वो फॉर्म्ड होता है. द ओजोन मॉलिक्यूल्स इज जनरली हेल्प to absorb the ultraviolet rays between 310 to 200 नैनोमीटर. 310 से लेकर 200 नैनोमीटर के बीच के जो अल्ट्रावायलेट रेज होते हैं उसको ये ओजोन का लेयर जो होता है वो एब्जॉर्ब कर लेता है, जो उसकी वेवलेंथ होती है. एंड देयर बाय इट जनरली हैव टू प्रिवेंट दिस टाइप ऑफ हार्मफुल रेडिएशंस ऑफ लाइट दैट डायरेक्टली एंटर इनटू द अर्थ एटमॉस्फेयर. तो ये ओजोन का जो मॉलिक्यूल्स होता है वो उसको एब्जॉर्ब कर लेता है, इस तरह के वेवलेंथ को डायरेक्टली अर्थ के एटमॉस्फेयर में आने से प्रिवेंट करता है. But in the recent times, the depletion of ozone layer in the stratosphere is turning out the very serious problem. It is generally a global problem. So the depletions of this type of the ozone layer, it generally shows a very big effects into the environment, or it is generally considered as a global effect. So depletion of ozone layer, it generally noticed into the starting of 1980. सबसे पहले 1980 के अंदर डिप्लेशन ऑफ ओजोन लेयर को नोटिस किया गया था कि द ओजोन लेयर स्टार्ट टू बी डिप्लेटेड, दैट वाज नोटिस्ड इनटू फर्स्ट 1980s. सो डिप्लेशन ऑफ ओजोन लेयर दैट कैन बी नोटिस्ड ऑल ओवर द स्ट्रेटोस्फियर. लेकिन सबसे ज़्यादा जो है अराउंड ऑफ 40 to 50% ऑफ डिप्लेशंस दैट जनरली अकर इन स्पेसिफिक एरियाज दैट इज कॉल्ड साउथ पोलर रीजन. तो साउथ पोलर रीजन के अंदर ही 40 to 50% जो है उसका डिप्लेशन हो गया है. इसको आप ओजोन होल कहते हैं. ये जो एरियाज बन गए हैं उसको आप ओजोन होल कहते हैं. तो सच ओजोन होल्स आर ऑल्सो बी नोटिस्ड आउट इनटू द नॉर्थ पोलर रीजन. साउथ पोलर रीजन पे तो था ही, उसके अलावा नॉर्थ पोलर रीजन पे भी इस तरह के ओजोन का डिप्लेशन पाया गया है. सो द प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ दिस टाइप ऑफ द डिप्लेशन ऑफ ओजोन लेयर ऑल्सो एग्जिस्ट इन द एरियाज वेयर द ह्यूमन पॉपुलेशन इज मोर. तो ह्यूमन रेसिडेंसी जो आपका बायोस्फीयर है वहाँ पे भी इस तरह का ओजोन लेयर अगर डिप्लेश होना स्टार्ट होता है तो दैट जनरली गिव अ वेरी डेंजरस इफेक्ट टू द एंटायर ह्यूमन पॉपुलेशन. So what are the factors of the depletion of ozone layer? The main factor responsible for the depletion of ozone layer is the addition of chlorine atom into the molecules. क्लोरीन के एटम्स जितना ज़्यादा एटमॉस्फेयर में ऐड होते जाएंगे उतना ज़्यादा चांसेस जो होता है ओजोन के लेयर का डिप्लेश होना चांसेस होता है. सो क्लोरीन दैट रिएक्ट विद द ऑक्सीजन एंड रिमूव्स द एटम्स ऑफ ऑक्सीजन वन बाय वन. So when chlorine that react with the oxygen, it generally removes the oxygen atom one by one from the atmosphere. So one atom of chlorine that can be generally decomposed 1 lakh molecule of oxygen. So one atom of chlorine generally decompose 1 lakh molecules of oxygen from the atmosphere. The most important compound which generally release this type of chlorine from the atmosphere, that is 80% of this type of chlorine substances which generally accompanied with the total depletions, it's CFC, that is called chlorofluorocarbon. So that chlorofluorocarbon is one of the main source which generally deplete the most of the oxygen layer from the atmosphere. So one such substance is like freon using by the refrigerator and conditioner, air conditioner, which generally release that kind of the CFC molecules which generally having chlorine atoms, and we generally remove the one by one oxygen levels from the atmosphere, and that reduce the molarity of the ozone. Clear? So what is ozone, how it can be formed, and what are the ozone layer depletion that we are discussing. So for all this chapter, our environment, this is the last topic that we are discussing today. So students, I hope you easily understand what the topics that we are discussing today. From the next time when we meet tomorrow, we'll discussing about the new topics of the new chapters. Till students, I also requested to stay home, stay safe, and just revise this type of topics, and more revise and more practice with this questioning, how to write the answers. That will be very benefit for you. So using that at certain times, you use this time as a part of your studies, increase your knowledge by using some of the digital mediums of additional topics. So students, take care, bye. Will you meet tomorrow for the other topic of science? Take care and bye.